Welcome to LeRoy, or Leroy, or someplace. Today's adventure isn't just a normal adventure, it's an answering a question. When I did my vlog on the JellO Museum, the link is right above me right now. I got a post on my Facebook page from Harriet D who said, they will make a museum for just about anything. So I'm here to answer that question and say, yes, Harriet D, they will make a museum for anything. Hello world, it's your Uncle Heavy. Today I'm on location in LeRoy, New York. I am here to check out something really very cool today. LeRoy has a bit of a history that I wasn't even aware of, but the most notable thing that came out of LeRoy, New York is a favorite of all of us, Jell-O Gelatin product. It was invented right here in this town, and it turned out it was manufactured in this town for years. Across the street there is the JellO Museum. We're gonna take a tour of it, take a walk around, see what's going on in there. It should be very, very cool. Now, as with most museums, I haven't done any research of what's going on there, so it's going to be a surprise. You're gonna see it right along with me. So, let's go get some tickets and see what kind of trouble we can get into. Do come along.
Camcorder. Mine. No way.
So right off the bat, I need to apologize. When I was doing research for this project, I found that there are two different ways that you can pronounce this town. One is Leroy and the other is LeRoy. Now, what I am going with is this town was named after a man named Herman LeRoy, pronounced the French way. So, for the purpose of this vlog, I'm going to be pronouncing this town LeRoy because that's how the man's name was named. So, if I've offended any residents or any local by calling it Leroy or not Leroy or LeRoy or whatever, I apologize now. So I just wanted to clear that and get that out of the way. I've got to say, first impressions of this town are quite amazing. I'm in a sort of grassy green in the center of town, and there across the street is the museum we'll be going to today, but it's actually quite a pretty town. So as you can see, the museum is built in what's called the LeRoy house. Now, Herman LeRoy had this house and used it as a land office for what was called the Triangle Tract. It was all the land he owned from here all the way to Lake Ontario. He's a pretty wealthy guy. Apparently I was wrong. It looks like the JellO Museum isn't actually located in the LeRoy house, but in this back building. Let's go get our JellO on. Remember, there's always room for JellO. We're greeted with a fiberglass cow with the JellO logo on it. Let's go check this place out. So I want to start off with this. This archway was actually in the Salt Lake City Olympics because we just found out JellO is the state snack of Utah. So we've got this to look at today. Now here's a shot of the original factory, which I'm going to visit a little bit later. But this is what it looked like when they were manufacturing it here in LeRoy. There's a list of very unusual JellO recipes, and I'm drawn to this one. It's called Blue Goo Volcano. It sounds absolutely amazing. Take a screenshot of that. Here's a display where people would take JellO boxes and turn them into tool boxes, and a radio in this case. So here's a picture of the manufacturing process, and they actually have one of the workers' uniforms on display here as well. Some Canadian hockey team molds here, and commemorative spoons. I think it's a Blue Jays mold right there. Got some dessert cups here, and old Mr. Wiggle puppets. What collection would be complete without the JellO Barbie? Very cool. And last but not least, they definitely have the JellO mold wall here. Look at all these. I remember my mother had these all over her house when I was a kid growing up. Definitely had this one here. She had this grape one as well. I'm pretty sure she had this chicken or one similar to it. We also had a lobster. I don't see it anywhere here, but we had a JellO lobster mold. Yep, there it is right there. Here's more modern ones made out of plastic and silicone. A little bit of a display here on the marketing of Jell-O. Now their marketing must be good because suddenly I want a bowl of Jell-O. Oh, by the way, my in-laws are here. Hi guys. All the spoons they have hanging from the ceiling as well. Lots of spoons. No. Here's different gelatin dessert brands from around the world. That's kind of neat right there. Now this is more of like a history of LeRoy. These are glass insulators that were manufactured right here in LeRoy, and you could see other glass products like that's an ashtray and a teapot. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, a tea marker for golf courses. Another big product of LeRoy was salt. Salt and malt. Now, I don't know if I'm going to find a display here on the malt, but this is a salt feeder for, you know, salt licks for horses and cattle. Big product of LeRoy. It looks like they invented the stringless bean here as well. Oh, by the way, the lovely Mrs. Heavy's here with us yet again. Hello, Michelle. Do the queen wave again for me. Beautiful, beautiful. Here's a room dedicated to transportation. This is kind of nice. There's an old Cadillac. I mean, you know I'm fascinated with old Cadillacs. There's a 1908. Now this is it's an old Columbia bicycle. I think they're called penny farthing bicycles, but they're really, really cool. I know my buddy Brian from someplace or another likes to ride these, so here's a shot for you. Looks like they've got, oh, I have to. The one horse open sleigh. This simple delivery wagon right here. Look at how thin these wheels are. I don't know how these didn't get stuck in the mud more often. We're just having a moment here because we were talking about back in the day when we used to watch Little House on the Prairie, and Doc Baker would drive back and forth in something like this, and I guess that was like a Mercedes-Benz of the time, where the rest of the people kind of drove something like this. All in all, it's kind of a neat little place to come visit. If you're ever in LeRoy, New York, make sure you check it out. I had to stop and get a shot of all the Jell-O shirts and things they have in the gift store. It's very Jell-O-y. Look, they even have Jell-O underwears. So the museum was really, really cool and everything, but I kind of wanted to take a little walk around LeRoy and do some exploring and see what's cool about this nice little town. Here's the sign marking the incorporation of the town on this spot in 1813. Looks like they've got a nice war memorial here dedicated to all the soldiers of the Civil War. We also have dedication to World War I, Vietnam War, and the Korean War. Very nice. I do want to make mention too that at some point LeRoy was one of the stops of the Underground Railroad. The research I've done on it, unfortunately, there seems to be confusion as to the original site, and the placement of a monument is still in the process. I couldn't really nail it down exactly where it is, but it was an interesting fact that I wanted to add. So I wanted to point this out too. This is currently the location of the LeRoy Central School. It was one time the site of the Ingham Collegiate Institute, which was the very first institution in America that offered a 4-year degree for women. Right here. That happened here. Oh, it started chiming and then it stopped. Darn it. So this here is known as Oatka, and I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but Oatka Creek. And it was essential during the settling of LeRoy because it helped power several paper mills. Now, just upstream, there are supposed to be some amazing waterfalls known as Buttermilk Falls. Now, in researching this project, I found that the falls are up there, but unfortunately, all access to them are through private property, so unfortunately, we're not going there today. But if you get a chance, Google in images and see what Buttermilk Falls, LeRoy, New York looks like. It's amazing. Everything is looking very patriotic and Americana on Main Street. Once again, I'm in awe at the architecture of the main streets of these Western New York towns. Absolutely, absolutely love it. These high facades, all the brick, My kind of town. Looks like there's a couple of classic cars over there as well. Now this is supposed to mark the area where a mill was once located, but look at that brick building over there. The church. Absolutely amazing. This is kind of cool. I was able to come down here and get a closer look. Nice little falls over there. Nice little falls right here too. Behind me is Oka Creek. So somewhere around here there was a mill for when the founders of the town first got here, where they produced lumber and flour. Cool little history, isn't it? Very, very cool post office here. That's twice I've missed it now. Look at some of the houses on this side streets. Look at, that's gorgeous, like real cedar shake shingles on that house. Now I'm gonna have to go back and look at what the history is on this building. This is One Church Street, and it currently looks like it's the home of the LeRoy penny saver. But wow, it looks like a school or possibly an old firehouse. Gonna have to look into that. Love this neighborhood. This is like Norman Rockwell painting. I'm not kidding. Now this is where it all began. This is the site of the original Jell-O factory here. Right now it looks kind of closed and abandoned, but I wanted to come over and get a shot of it because this is where it all started. Looks like it's kind of overgrown here, and there's a big no trespassing sign, so I'm not going to be going inside. I want to always just kind of point out the architecture here. This is beautiful. I mean, look at these columns right here, and that door and that lamp. Absolutely fabulous. There's the sign. It's a little bit tilted, but it explains the history. This plant operated from 1900 to 1964, manufacturing Jell-O. There's this chimney in the middle of nowhere here, and look at all that dockage right there. And it looks like at one time there was a railroad car that passed through here. Can only imagine the tons and tons of Jell-O-y goodness that came off these docks. There's just a huge chimney in the middle of a grassy field. Looking up at some of the windows there, it kind of looks like it's fallen to vandalism, which is a shame. It's kind of a historical place if you think about it. How much Jell-O have you eaten in your life? That's going to do it for this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up down below, tell your friends, and share this video. If you're new to my channel, check out some of my other vlogs. If you like them, consider subscribing. Make sure you hit that bell so you'll be notified of any future vlogs I put up. Till next time, signing off from LeRoy, New York. Bye-bye.